We are back with the breaking news. Democrats are launching an investigation after Jimmy Kimmel's show was pulled off the air following his comments about Charlie Kirk. The top Democrat on the House Oversight Committee announced they'll look into the Trump administration, ABC, and Sinclair, and what he calls ongoing efforts to censor opposition to the President of the United States. And joining us now, in fact, is the ranking member of the House Oversight Committee, our friend Congressman Robert Garcia of California. Congressman, welcome to you. So what steps will be first in this investigation? What will the overall investigation go after?
Look, I think first it's really important that we all recognize that what happened to Charlie Kirk was horrific. Political violence of any type should be denounced by all of us. At the same time, in this country, people have the First Amendment right to free speech, and people should have the ability to have different opinions. And so I think what's happened in this latest move by ABC, by Sinclair, by the FCC is outrageous. This idea that somehow the Trump administration is going to put pressure on these television stations, on Sinclair, on ABC, and then they somehow, out of nowhere, remove a late-night talk show host and program who was sharing an opinion during a comedic monologue, I think should concern every single American. And so the Oversight Committee is now engaged. We're going to be launching, and we're in investigation around not just ABC and Sinclair and what happened, but we have a lot of questions. Who ordered this, and who ordered Sinclair to take these actions? Was there communication from the Trump administration to Sinclair and or NBC and or ABC? And this is, again, a pattern of what's been happening. And we saw what happened to Stephen Colbert. We're seeing what's happening to academic institutions, to elected officials. People in this country have a right to share opinions and, of course, also to be able to denounce political violence.
But as the ranking member of the committee, you don't have subpoena power, correct? So what tools do you have to use in this probe, and what do you expect it to yield?
The good thing is that even in the minority, Democrats on oversight, we still have the power and the ability to investigate. And so we have already investigated numerous agencies, corporations. They know that they have to work with us. And so we have a lot of questions that we expect answers from. And we'll work with Republicans who claim to be interested in First Amendment rights. They have always talked about cancel culture and about folks having the right to say and give their opinion. And we agree.
So did Brendan Carr, by the way. So did the head of the FCC on X. He has posted over the years things like this. Are any Republican colleagues you're speaking with, are they concerned about what's happening right now?
I think I am talking to some Republicans that are concerned. Unfortunately, they choose to be silent in these moments. Nobody wants to stand up to Donald Trump. And look, we can't have large organizations that run the news business, that are involved in the media, that are trying to give the truth to the American public. We can't have organizations be intimidated by the administration. And that's really a concern. I mean, this is a red line that is being crossed. And I think what we have to know in this country is that our democracy is based on good government, on taking on corruption. But the news media and these large media organizations play an important and key role in delivering information to the public. And when they're going to essentially do what the President of the United States wants because he may not agree with an opinion of a late-night talk show host, I think we have a role in the Congress to investigate that.
I want to play for you what Republican Senator Bill Cassidy told reporters just today about Jimmy Kimmel. Here's that.
Clearly what he said was terrible. I mean, Jimmy Kimmel's not appreciative one of his children was joked about in a tragedy for his situation. And I think we all need to bring to the table, what would we do if it was our child? And when we start making comments and criticisms and tracks like that.
What's your reaction to that?
Look, I think, well, first, let's be clear. I think what happened to Charlie Kirk was horrific. Let's all denounce that. We have to continue to do that. I also think it's important that we stand up for what this country is based on, and that has been able to have civil debate, supporting our Constitution, the First Amendment, and people need to have the ability to speak out and have actual different opinions in this country. And so if we're going to silence a late-night talk show host who is a comedian who in his monologue for his show was giving an opinion, and that leads to the cancellation of a show that a lot of people across this country watch and love. And these decisions, of course, are being made by executives at ABC and Sinclair. Every single American should be concerned. We cannot have the President of the United States or any administration, regardless of party, control the news media and what Americans are watching. And so this is why we have to investigate this. I'll actually be partnering with Congressman Maxwell Frost, who leads one of our subcommittees, and the two of us plan extensive investigation on this topic.
There's another avenue to talk about, because the New York Times reports a culture of fear has sprung up among prominent Democratic donors who are concerned about retribution from the Trump administration. Some don't want to make gifts or give in amounts which require their disclosure. Are you hearing about these fears? And if so, what's the impact of that?
Look, I'm hearing about people's fears in every area. I think people are scared. We have an administration that unfortunately is on, in many ways, goes after political enemies, uses intimidation, does whatever, uses its Department of Justice to go after folks that they may not agree with him. But it's more dangerous for us to not stand up to that. I think as a country, we have to, in this moment, know that our democracy is on the line. And we've got to push back and ensure that we are doing the right thing in protecting this country, the freedom of speech, and our institutions and our government. And so anyone that believes in what our country was founded on at this moment should be concerned by this insane overreach, really, by the administration. So we plan to investigate this thoroughly and continue to support the ability for people to have different opinions in this country.
Congressman Robert Garcia of California, many thanks for your time, sir. Appreciate that.